Good evening. Good afternoon. The Memphis Landmarks Commission is hereby called to order for its regularly scheduled meeting of October, the 23rd or the 24th? 24th, I'm looking at it, 2024. My name is Cindy Tucker, and I am the chair of the commission. I'm going to get as far back as I can because those things are loud. Mr. Brett Ragsdale serves as executive secretary of the commission. Mr. Ragsdale, may I get a roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Boyd?
Here.
Mr. Gill?
Here.
Ms. Rainwater?
Here.
Ms. Tolbert?
Here.
Mr. Winter?
Here.
Ms. Love? Here. Vice Chair Doss?
Here.
Chair Tucker?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The Memphis Landmarks Commission and historic district provisions are established to ensure preservation of structures that are of historic value to Memphis. Our function is to preserve significant resources, enhance community pride, and foster civic beauty, and ensure compatibility within designated historic districts. The Commission is authorized to review projects and determine their appropriateness based on the design review guidelines. At this time, I would like to swear in the staff. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last month's meeting? Anybody?
So moved.
Second, please. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Secretary, please provide us a secretary's report if there is one this month, and then explain the procedure for this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do not have a secretary's report, so I will go into the procedure. I will introduce each case as listed on the agenda. Copies of the agenda are found on the right podium. For each case, staff of the Division of Planning and Development will give a presentation. At the conclusion of the staff presentation, the applicant will have 5 minutes to present his or her case. After the applicant's presentation, the commission will hear first from those speakers in support of the application, then from those speakers in opposition to the application, and the speakers will have 3 minutes each. And then finally, the applicant will have 3 minutes to provide rebuttal. These times do not include time for questions from and answers to members of the commission. The chair may provide additional time, provided both sides are given an equal amount of additional time. All parties who wish to provide testimony to the commission will be sworn in by the chair. If a member of the audience wishes to provide testimony in support of or in opposition to a particular case on today's agenda, he or she will need to fill out speaker's cards for the record. Speaker's cards are available at the front podium. Once filled out, speaker's cards can be submitted to any DPD planner at the left podium. We do not need speaker's cards from the applicants since their names are already part of the record. After all parties have been heard, the commission will close the public hearing, make a motion, and then deliberate on the case. All motions by this commission will be made in the affirmative. The bylaws governing the commission require the affirmative vote of a majority of the attending members to approve an application. The commission may also vote to hold an application for a period of 1 month. Madam Chair, I submit that all cases have been filed in proper order, all applicants have been notified of this hearing, and all notice requirements have been fulfilled.
Okay, thank you. At this point, the commission will establish a consent agenda. To establish the consent agenda, the secretary will call out each eligible case. If any member of the audience or the commission objects to a case being placed on the consent agenda, he or she should do so by a show of hands when the secretary reads the case. Once the consent agenda is established, the commission will vote on all cases placed on the consent agenda as a whole and will not hold individual public hearings on each case. Mr. Secretary, which items on our agenda are eligible?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I will note that items number 1 and 2 are held.
Thank
so
you.
The only case that we have on today's agenda that is eligible for consent is item number 3, COA 2024-131, 1804 South Parkway East in the Glenview Historic District.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as established by the secretary? I would like to remind can I have a second?
Second.
Does he want, this is just the consent agenda. Do you want to hear all the consent agendas? There's only 2. 3 we're going to call, are we not?
3, yes, so that is the consent agenda, item number 3, so there's only 1 case, yes.
Do you want to see? Okay. Okay. So I'll just go on to the...
Oh, yeah, so we'll go on to the regular agenda then. Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay, so nothing needs to be voted on for the consent agenda. How about those? Correct?
Correct, so...
No, not anymore. because he wants to hear it. Right?
Yes.
I just go, we're done with that, I go to the next. Okay. At this point, I would like to state that the minor COA applications as listed on the agenda have been reviewed and approved by the commission. The commission will now continue with the regular meeting of the major COA applications as listed on the agenda. Mr. Secretary, call the first case.
Item number 3, COA 2024-131, 1804 South Parkway East in the Glenview Historic District.
Okay, is the applicant present? Okay, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Jason Jackson,
Okay. Go ahead, sorry.
78 North Cooper Street.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Okay, do you agree with, you have seen the suggestions from staff?
yes,
Okay, do you agree with what they're called for?
yes.
Okay. Since we have a commissioner that is requesting to see the presentation, could we go ahead and do the presentation?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Aisha Panzes with Division of Planning and Development. Item before you is COA 2024-131. The property is 1804 South Parkway East in Glenview Historic District. The original structure on this lot was a one-story bungalow built in or around 1925, which had brick exterior and gable roof with asphalt shingles, also considered a contributing structure to Glenview Historic District. This structure was damaged by fire beyond repair, so the applicant is now proposing to demolish the remnants of the structure and then build a new two-story single-family home with a detached two-story garage back house. Here are the pictures that were submitted by the applicant showing the extent of the damage due to fire. And here is the proposed new construction. Most of the site details remain as is. The driveway, the curb cut location, and the approximate location of the front setback is similar to the original house, but this is a completely new building, a two-story single-family home with a detached garage on the back. Again, a two-story detached garage with a living quarters on the second floor. Here's the proposed site plan. The front yard landscaping is mostly what is already existing on the lot, and then majority of the construction is going to happen towards the rear of the lot. Here's the proposed front elevation of the new structure with a partial width front porch and a carport to the right side. Here's the right elevation. Here's the left elevation of the house. And then this is the front elevation of the proposed detached garage back house. And we have the ground floor plan for the main structure and the proposed garage. And then the second floor plan for both structures. So the proposed demolition and new construction mainly adhere to Glenview design guidelines requirements. And we have 15 conditions to ensure further compatibility and consistency with the neighborhood design guidelines and the existing structures in the historic district. So this concludes my staff presentation. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, did anyone have a question? Do you have a question? Okay.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Michael. I was curious about the trim around the windows. There was a condition added, I think wisely by staff, that says All windows and doors around the home garage have appropriate trim, minimum 4 inches in width. You good with that?
This is for, oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've stepped out of line.
Did you have anything for
No, I don't
staff?
have any questions for staff.
Okay. Anybody have something for staff?
What was the square footage of the original home?
I'm not sure. I didn't look at the original in detail, but the square footage of the proposed is 1,880 square feet first floor, and the same for the second floor. But the original house was a one-story bungalow, so I'm thinking it was a little smaller than what the applicant is proposing right now. And it was a one-story structure.
Like it had a little thing.
Yes, my description is basically coming from the National Register. So it might have an addition that was
Yeah.
added after the National Register nomination.
It did. Okay, any other questions for staff? Okay, we go ahead and ask him.
Sorry I got out of
That's
line.
okay.
I was just asking about the trim around the windows. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. So you're just going to add some.
Yeah, the comment was more pertaining to not having like called out some specific window details. I think the intention was to show trim, but it just wasn't clear in what was submitted, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks nice.
Any other questions?
And the fabrication, I was looking over that here, and it will be, I'm not great at looking at renderings, but it is a combination, looks to be brick and maybe, what is this, sideboard? I'm not really sure. I need to look back down here. It's a combination of the two.
Yes, ground floor being predominantly brick.
Brick, okay.
And upper floor being a lapboard siding.
Any other questions of the applicant? Okay, I'm going to close this to the public portion of this, and would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve COA 2024-131, 1804 South Parkway East in the Glenview Historic District.
Second.
Discussion.
The only thing I'll add, I think this is a nice design. I was a little concerned originally about it blending in with the neighborhood, especially with the guidelines, but I think the applicant's done a good job of kind of blending the new and the old. I think those couple of details really help kind of make sure it fits in, but it's cited appropriately on the site. I think it's a really nice blend of new and old.
And I'm assuming that the neighborhood, since no one is here, are all okay?
Well, I didn't receive any letters from the neighborhood representatives or any opposition letters from the neighbors.
Okay, call for a vote.
Ms. Tolbert?
Yes.
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
Ms. Love? Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Ms. Rainwater?
Yes.
Mr. Winter?
Yes.
Vice Chair Doss?
Yes.
And Chair Tucker?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's it, right?
That is it.
Okay,
I think we beat the record.
are there any additional announcements?
No, just the next meeting is November